for class today. I have started recording, Rita. Thank you.
Hi and welcome. I'm Rita Bearcat and I am a mixed media artist. As you can see behind me, I do a lot of whimsical art. And today, you guys tuned in, we're doing this project right here. And we are going to be using our Faber-Castell pastels, our soft pastels. And this is so fun and so easy. So hopefully you got the supply list and we are going to get started. And let me know if you have any questions. Krista is here from Faber-Castell and she will be in the chat room answering all of your questions. Okay, so I'm going to pan down. We're going to get started. All right. So hopefully everybody can see okay. And so this is our project, right? This is our project. And I just used a piece of watercolor paper. You can use really any kind of paper that has a little bit of tooth to it. And when I say tooth, I mean, you know, some type of texture. A lot of times, it's probably hard to see in the video, but watercolor paper a lot of times has like a smooth texture on one side and a little bit of rough texture on the other. We're going to use the rough side. You can also get things like a pastel board. I do have this pastel board here. And if you were here in person, I would have you feel it. It's kind of like a very fine sandpaper. So you can also use gesso that has a texture to it, anything that's going to have a little tooth to it. We're using our Faber-Castell soft pastels. This is the 72 pack. And I don't know about you guys, but I get so happy when I see color. So I want to show you, these are the beautiful colors that are in the pack. And we're going to put this over here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about, you know, there are some marks on my paper, but I'm not really worried about it. We're going to grab some painting tape and put it on the edges. So that way, when we're finished, we can have a really clean edge. And it's always really fun to peel that tape up when we're done with our project. So I'm just going to go down like so. So any type of painter's tape. If you don't have painter's tape, a lot of times washi tape will work pretty good. If it's sticky enough. Some washi tape's not very sticky. So, but if you have a good washi tape, that'll work too. Here. And so we're doing this so that we can have a really clean edge so that it almost looks matted, right? It looks like we have a mat on it. This one. And of course, you don't have to do it. It's just kind of fun. The end result's kind of fun. The beginning part is not that fun, putting on the tape, but lifting it up is pretty fun. So this is, and I do have this paper here, so if I have any, I want to put that there. I'm trying to make sure that that you guys can see everything okay.
Rita, what's the size of the paper that you're using?
I'm using an 8x8 paper. I just wanted a square. That was just a personal choice. You can use whatever you want because this will work for anything. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to pull out some colors. I'm going to pull out a red. I'm going to pull out this light purple. I want a dark purple in here. And also I might even use a blue. And we're going to need a yellow for our sun. And we're going to need some white because we're going to kind of highlight it. And of course, we'll need black, but I'll use that last. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put and I already got stuff on my hands. Baby wipes work really well. Okay, so I'm just going to put our little circle, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And I'm putting a little bit of white on the outside. And I will tell you, there are lots of tools that you can use. Like you can use a dense artist sponge. If you have these daubers, you can use a makeup sponge, or if you have these dense sponges come sometimes in the Faber-Castell kits. You can use any of those. If you don't want to use your fingers, Q-tips really come in handy as well. And we are going to use these for the skinny areas. I'm going to use my finger. I just think it's easy, right? So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just making my circle. So I'm going around in a circle. And the nice thing about using your finger is that you can feel those grains underneath, right? Those loose powders, and push them where you want them to go, push them back to the center. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit more white on the outside, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Look at my circle is not perfect. And everybody's might turn out a little different. That's okay. So I'm going to now just kind of mark where I want these edges to go. So if we're using this as our example, right? We know that we don't have straight lines, right? We kind of have this curve thing going. So we're just going to just put a little, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Everybody's can be a little bit different. Okay, so we're just adding that color in there. So I'm going to go in here. Now, I will tell you this. So when you're using chalk, I'm bringing this other paper in here. So when you're using chalk, if you draw that straight line and then you try to blend it, you see how you still see the line? So if you want smooth colors, you want to use the side of the chalk. Okay, look at how much better that looks. And then we don't have that line in the middle. So we want to go for smooth colors right now. And so I'm just going to go in here. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're just adding color. All right, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to blend. Now, if you feel that it's too light, you can always add. So I will blend first with my finger or a sponge, whatever you want to use. If you don't want to use your fingers, I'm going around the circle and just kind of take a look and see, you know, do I want it darker? Do I want it to look more pastel? I tend to like things vibrant and bright. That's me. That doesn't have to be you. So if you want it softer, you know, add less color.
Rita, would it be possible to maybe put the finished piece, I guess, on top of where you're working?
Can you see it here?
Yeah, or even on the other side would help, just so that they have the finish to reference.
I think probably here is better,
Yeah,
because here it gets cut off.
Yep.
I'll put it right here.
Thank you.
Okay. So we've got this color. For me, I'd like it to be a little darker, but that's me. So I'm just going to go, I rubbed this in, and I don't really have any loose, I don't have a lot of loose powder because I've rubbed it into the paper. I'm going to go right on top and add some more. Just on part of it so that this looks lighter than this. So we're kind of doing this ombre thing. Sorry, I probably could lower this a little bit. And then I can lower this. All right, so we've got a lot of color on here and we're just rubbing it in. Really, we're pushing it into the paper is what we're doing. We're just making sure all those loose pieces going around there again. You know, if your circle starts to look a little wonky, you know, just go around it again or use your chalk, you know, and bring it out a little bit again. And make sure that if you go again to use that to do the center, wipe your hands so you don't have a red sun. All right, so I'm wiping that off and kind of wiped it on my apron a little bit and just kind of spreading that out again. So it's a lot of going back and going over things and layering things. So now we're going to do our purple sky, and I'm doing the lightest color first. And again, making sure we're not drawing with it, we're using the side of it. And we're going to use this darker purple right on top of that. And a little bit of this blue. And we're going to blend. Make sure you're wiping your fingers between colors. Now for here, I'm butting this right up against the red. Don't worry if it looks a little naked and not blended yet, because we're still good. All right, now I'm going into the darker color. And then into the blue. So let's say you made a really big mistake and maybe you went over the red or something, right? So let's look back at our paper, or here's scratch paper. You know, let's say I accidentally went over way too far. Okay, eraser. You can erase most, if not all, what you just did. Okay, this is also really handy if you want to, let's say, write something, get a really sharp corner, and you can write letters or whatever you want to do with a smaller eraser. So that comes off. See that? So if push comes to shove and something really gets wonky, you could use an eraser. But you know, I say just go with it. You know, work with it. Add more layers. So we're going to add a little more purple here in the center. One that. And blending it into the red. Let's pull the light one. So again, this is about layers. So if you want really rich color, you want to do it in layers. You want to blend the first color in and then add another layer on top. Okay, I really want this red to be dark. So now I'm going to add another layer of the red, butting up against that purple. And let me wipe my hands so they're, you know, mess it up. What's really great about pastels is that anybody can use this. You're using your fingers. So you're getting back down to basics. And if you usually use another medium, this is a fun product to use in your other mediums. You know, I use it with mixed media, and I will do even like if I'm doing faces, I might use chalks to do some highlights or some blush, those kind of things. And it works out really well. All right, we're grabbing the black now, and we're going to go on the bottom, right? We're doing this. Going right along the bottom. And if you decide that you love pastels, because they are so fun and so easy to use, I will show you something that works really well in between your layers. So let's say you're going to do a painting, but you wanted to start in pastels and you don't want to lose the pastels as you get it wet with paint, right? You want to still have that pastel look underneath. You can use a fixative like this. Krylon has a workable fixative. And so you just spray it right on top, and then you can keep going. And then that way, like let's say you absolutely love what you did with your pastels, you can use the workable fixative to keep that layer in place and then work on to your next layers. Okay, so now that we've got our basic background done. So we want to take a look and we want to decide, you know, are we good with the color the way it is? And I'm gonna take that off, get any dust off there. I'm going to go in here. I see like a place right there. So just kind of look at it, because it's very hard to do all these pieces and then go back and fix the background. You're not going to be able to go back and fix that. So however you have it right now, if you want to change it, you can change it and add maybe more color to it. You know, you could add oranges to it or darker blues, however you want to do it, or you can make it darker. I am going to go in here and really blend between those two colors. So I just wiped off my finger, and I'm just not big, just a subtle blend between the two colors. Okay, that works for me. And also, if you want to change anything in here, let's say maybe you want to make a little highlight or something with the moon, you can, I mean, with the sun, you can that, and then you have that little highlight there. See that? So however you want to do it, just make sure that before you start this next section, that you have your background in place and you like the way that it looks. I feel like this little corner needs a little bit more, because I don't want to peel that paper up and the corner looks naked. Okay, so just really blending it in, which is why the tape really does help getting that. Okay, now I'm just gonna do that. And you can also use other things like brushes, your paint brushes. Let me show you really quick. They just do a different, look. You could even do this on a piece of paper and then pick this up with your paintbrush and go, okay, I just want a really soft pastel. So you're going to use it like a paint and do a really soft color. See that? That would make for a really good blush. I'm just saying. All right. So just experiment with different things and see what you come up with. All right. So this is where it's super complicated. No, I'm just kidding. It's really not complicated, you guys. All right. So we want to do these little leaves. So what you want to add in this little happening right here, we're going to go right across. And if you want to practice on a piece of paper first because you're not comfortable, that's okay too. Okay, but I'm just going to take a line from down here and just a curvy line. And here's another curvy line, right? We're going to add to it. Then we're going to add one kind of going this way. And let's make one kind of straight. Okay, now these leaves, these little wispy things, they have these little extras, right? So we want to add those. And then we're going to add one more just kind of that way. And just really quickly, and I'm using I want to use the corner to make those lines. And you can make as many or as little as you like. Don't make too many if you're making a small 8x8 like I'm making, because then it quickly becomes muddled. So now we're just going to do some grass pieces. Now, if your block, like this is starting to get really rounded, you can use a piece of sandpaper and sand it down and get it sharp again like this, like they come like this. I'm just going to grab the other one because we're doing a class. But later I will probably use the sandpaper to sand that down so that I have nice crisp edges to make my lines. All right, so now that we've got our lines, we're going to add the little, I don't even know what you call those things. I'm thinking like wheat, like it's sunset, so you can't tell that it's wheat, so it looks black. So I'm just making little tiny lines. They might be weeds. I don't know. Depending on maybe what your thought process is for your art. That would definitely could be deep. for it to be weeds in life, right? Because we all have weeds that we need to pull up. Okay, but that's like a total different subject. So I'm just making little lines, right? And like this one, I'm only doing on one side. This one's on one side. It's just random. There's no pattern to it. And this one, I'm just gonna, because I have my other sharp block here, just gonna make a few more lines. And this one's not touching, but it will be. And so here we go. We're gonna do this one. I'm gonna do on both sides. And it's completely random. There's no, sometimes you just gotta do it and it's random and there's no rhyme or reason to it or pattern to it. I mean, we definitely know we're doing lines and they're on both sides. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. This is art, so anything goes. And that's the other thing, you know, if you want to add different colors to your page, go for it, because you know what, it's your artwork. And it's okay, everybody's different. This is a really great doing these little, a lot of times I'll do these little projects like this, small, just to see what I come up with. I'm gonna make this line go all the way and leave that alone. Okay, so now that we have all our lines, you kind of look at it and decide, I feel like they're kind of naked down here, so they need a little bit more together. So just look at it, and when you're doing art, step back away from it if you can. A lot of times I'll put it up on the wall and step back and look at it just to kind of see, is it balanced? Does it look good? How does it feel? And so I know here too, I want to add more. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to add some more chalk down here because I want this super dark. I want this, of course, to feel like night. So I'm going back in and really rubbing this in and trying to use all of that chalk dust and pushing it back into the paper. So don't worry if it feels thick, that's okay, because we're going to seal it when we're finished. But that's how we're going to get these dark, rich colors from our pastels. All right. Yeah, that looks good. That's nice and dark. Make sure you're getting those corners really good. Look at that. That's what the baby wipe is for. All right. So I'm trying to get most of it off my hands. You know, some of it still stays on there, but that's okay. I just don't want to transfer it onto other areas. So now we're going to take Q-tip and we're just going to go follow the line. Follow these lines because I don't want it, because it has texture. The paper has texture. I want it to be more of a solid line, if that makes sense. And with the texture, it kind of leaves a little unevenness, and I don't want that for this. Now, if you don't have a Q-tip handy, if you have a small paintbrush handy, that'll work too. Because you're just kind of blending that color and pushing it into the paper and making those lines solid. Super easy. So like I was saying, a lot of times I'll do a bunch of small paintings and not have a, like this with the pastels, and not have an idea in mind for what I want to do, just to be free. Because sometimes you just got to let loose and just do some art for fun. And sometimes those turn into a series. And so when I was doing this, I ended up doing a series with oils, actually. And I'll show you a couple because I just really liked the way this looked. Okay, I'm doing some of them, but not all of them. Okay, now we have a lot of loose chalk. So I don't want to use, you don't want to use a brush or anything, because then you're going to end up spreading it. So what I want to do, I'm actually going to take these papers in here in the box. Let's go this way. And so I'm just going to hit it times to get any black chalk dust off. Right there, you go. Looking good. Now let's put our chalk back in place. So you want to just be careful not to touch other areas, and especially if you have black on your hands, which we do, make sure that you're not touching other areas. So I'm going to wipe again my hands really quick. And this is the fun part, you guys. This is so exciting. Okay, making sure. Now we're going to peel. Right. So we're going to take our tape. And look at that. Looks so awesome. Look at how cool that looks, you guys. I love those clean edges. Super fun. Here we go. Look at that. Awesome. All right. So now you're going, okay, well, I've got all this chalk and it's still going to move every time I touch it. What am I going to do? Now you're going to seal it. So you can seal it with any type of sealer that, just like any kind of, I do a spray. The reason why you want to do a spray, right, is because if you touch it, it's going to move. So you want to do a spray. But also, I wanted to show you, you could do like a glitter spray and put a little bit of glitter all the way on top, because, we all love glitter, right? And then you can spray it, but don't spray it inside. And I'm not going to spray it inside my studio. So any type of spray paint sealer will work fantastic for this project. I hopefully I answered, hopefully you guys, oops, sorry, my thing is doing wonky things, but so that's it. I mean, it's super easy to do. It's a very nice way to do a small project. And you can do this in your art journals too. If you have art journals, you just want to make sure you seal it, right? Seal it before you close it, so that it is, so that it's not transferring to everything else and not messing up your beautiful drawings. Now, if you guys do this project, I want to see it. Okay, you can tag me. I'm on all social medias. So you can just find me, Rita Bearcat. On Instagram, I'm Rita Bearcat Art, I think. And everywhere else, I'm just Rita Bearcat or Rita Bearcat 1. Tag me, because I want to see your work, and show me what you did, right? So we're going to seal it. Okay. Don't touch it. And that's what I have for you guys tonight. I want to see your work. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this class and you're going to go get your pastels if you haven't already. So fabulous. Yes, hairspray does work. But I will say it's not permanent, right? Like a spray sealer is. So that's why I didn't say hairspray. So I know old school, oh, hairspray. Yeah, it works. It works. But it's not permanent. So we want permanent because we want to save your beautiful work, right? Awesome. So I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. Krista, do we have any other questions?
There was a question about, oops, let me scroll back up to it. About blending clouds into a sky. Do you use white and blend that into the paper, or leave the paper bare and I guess work around it?
Bare. I do bare, and just blend the blue. Does that make sense? So I just use, or you can also use an eraser to really clean up like the inside of the cloud and then just blend the edges. So I don't use white for that.
Okay, that looks like our last question, Rita.
Perfect. Well, you can always find me at ritabearcat.com or any social medias with my name. Thanks you guys so much. This was really fun. I hope you guys liked it, and I cannot wait to see your projects. So I don't know. Thanks, guys.